Democrats right now want to take a $500 million volatility cap and put $500 million aside for additional government spending. We believe that's not the prudent approach. Today, we are proposing that we should be using that $500 million to honor the actual spirits of the guardrail, which was to reduce unfunded liabilities, translating to tax relief for our residents. So we are calling for increasing our property tax credit from $300 to $1,000 and expanding the relief to more than 800,000 additional residents.
Property taxes are regressive. They hurt everyone, especially those on fixed incomes. And Republicans want to, for the first time in our state's history, triple the property tax credit and give taxpayers back, those that are eligible, their hard-earned money. I'm going to say it again. The largest property tax credit in state's history. Our solution is very simple. We want the maximum credit to jump. We're going to triple it from $300 to $1,000. That's a $700 increase. We're setting a $400 minimum credit. The current law allows as low as only $30, so this will bump it up to $400. Income eligibility expands by about $20,000 for single filers and $30,000 for joint filers. The cost of this is, as Leader Candelora said, $501 million. This is the same money that the Democrats are talking about putting in a special fund to spend on other projects. But Republicans are here trying to provide real tax relief to struggling seniors, struggling folks on fixed incomes, our veterans, our most vulnerable around Connecticut.
And so what we saw last session is that the Democrats really eviscerated our volatility cap by transferring ultimately between the surplus and the volatility $1.5 billion that they increased government spending. They did it with early childhood and also other programs. $1.5 billion of more taxes for more programs in the state of Connecticut. We are saying if they're going to take this money, it needs to go to tax relief.
As the mayor of the city of Bristol, I think I'm in a great position to talk a little bit about how this affects us. Our state mandated reval was in October of 2022. Bristol saw a 35% increase in our home valuations at that point, which created a huge burden shift to our homeowners, increasing taxes while lowering the mill rate.
When we tax as a municipality, we follow state law. So the way to change the way we tax, or the way to benefit homeowners, is for the state law to change. So for this credit to be passed is crucial to allow us to provide assistance to our homeowners who, again, are being priced out of their homes by a market that they don't quite understand, especially if you plan to stay put, especially if you are on a fixed income, especially if you are a senior. You don't want to age out of your house early. So this is the kind of relief we need. This will provide a positive impact for the people most affected by our current tax structure in this state.
Last night, I was at a local town meeting where we were speaking to the senior residents, and it hurt me to hear them say that they had a list of about 1,300 people looking for senior housing because the seniors can't afford to stay in their housing any longer.
The property tax credit back in '08 was actually $500. It was broad-based. I think Representative Piscopo was one of the champions of it back in the day, and it was reduced because we fell into deficit in '09. We have not even gone back to that level. Democrats already adjusted the volatility cap to take an additional $600 million projected a year from the budget. We are saying that annual sweep should be used for property tax relief, because ultimately that was the spirit of the guardrails when they were put in place. It wasn't so we could spend more. It was so that we could reduce our unfunded burdens and pass tax relief onto the state of Connecticut, because we are the highest taxed state in the country. And that taxation isn't just hitting our wealthy earners. It hits all the way down the line. And certainly as we see budgets after budgets throughout municipalities failing by overwhelming numbers, we've got to address this issue. Because somebody, a family of four earning $200,000 certainly isn't rich and should have the ability to have some sort of tax relief. So we are adjusting the income levels to inflation at the same time expanding the dollar amount as well. We talk about, and the governor acknowledged this morning, food prices are climbing, electric rates are climbing, and residents' wages are not. So the only thing the state of Connecticut can do for people is provide tax relief. That's a way to put money back into people's pockets. We all represent cities and towns. We have a lot of talent to offer, and what the Democrats have tried to do with affordable housing over the years has failed. So we've got to look at it in a different way. This proposal today directly addresses the affordability of housing in the state of Connecticut. What I'm not willing to do is just move the food around on the plate and said we did something. Democrats are very good at deflecting and not actually solving the problem. As state employees, they should be a little bit concerned that we are now using the pension fund as a political piggy bank in the state of Connecticut when we have a rainy day fund of $4.3 billion that we all supported raising it to 18% from 15% to fund any shortfalls that we may have in government because of either federal cuts or state cuts. Somehow that has now become a lockbox, not a rainy day fund, and now we're going to create a second rainy day fund.